Hey, what up, everybody? This is Stevie Breach. Probably the biggest news of the day is probably the big, I guess you can say, not really merger, but the joining together of OVW and TNA. It's been a long time since OVW was under contract with WWE as their main developmental company. They packed south and they went down to Florida to go to FCW down there. There was almost talks they were going to go down to Texas and join up with Booker T's independent down there. I haven't heard anything about Booker T's independent in a long, long time. I don't even know if it's still going. And if anybody knows what's going on with that, let me know down in the comments below. But I was honestly surprised that an indie company in Kentucky could be going as strong as it does. I can't tell you that I knew many names on there. The one guy that I knew that was still there was Nick Dinsmore, a guy that I heard a lot about when he was in OVW before he was brought up. Even when he was there, a lot of people like Jim Cornette were big supporters of him, saying that he got stuck with the Eugene gimmick and he ran with it as long as he could. He had a good run with Eugene against Triple H, being Bischoff's cousin or nephew, whatever he was. I can't really remember the bloodline to him or not, but um, you knew that was gonna run out someday, and it did. And I always would have loved to see Nick Dinsmore turn heel somehow and sort of say that it was all fake, that he was fooling everybody, and that's how he got on TV. Because people said that he was a hell of a wrestler, could have been one of the best wrestlers they had out there in the WB at the time, but he's one of the main guys that got down there to help people out as well as Al Snow. So I'm thinking that this is probably a good deal for TNA. But the first thing that I thought about was money. I know that TNA is starting to do a few more house shows here and there. It's not like their TNA deal with Spike. It pays a good amount of the bills, but it's not like they're going to be getting a raise anytime soon. I just was wondering, where this, money was going to come from. I know they have the multi-million-dollar deal with the auto insurance company. I don't know how that makes that auto insurance company any money right there. How they fooled them into getting that contracted deal, I have no clue. But this could be really, really good for TNA. For the one reason is, even though it's in Kentucky, it's not nationwide. They run a 1 hour weekly long show there, and it's a good way to send guys there to get exposure with the camera, working promos, working matches, learning where the hard camera is, learning how to get over with the crowd. Other than just finding these guys in the independents, seeing they have a little bit of skill, and then putting them out there on Impact. There's guys out there, young guys that they've brought in. Jesse Sorensen, the Texan Cowboy. Quarterback that walked to the ring. He was the hot business a month or two ago. Was working the deal with Kid Cash, got on the pay-per-view, and then sort of like TNA does. They have a good roster. They have a great roster of guys that you can compare it. I wouldn't compare it against the whole WWE roster, but it holds up against the Raw roster or the SmackDown roster just because they have all their stars in one places. But the thing is that it seems like they use guys for a while and they just drop off the face of the earth, and then you just sort of forget about that they're even in TNA, and you wonder if they even have TNA deals anymore. And with the young guys, it's all right. You always know that your Kurt Angles, you always know that your Stings are going to have a place there. But it just those guys aren't going to be there forever. So I mean, it is smart that they are going out there and starting this developmental company. Well, not really starting it, just investing and sending these guys that they think they have talent, because more than likely you can't just wait for WWE to release people and bring people in and find people in that main spot. They've done that for so long that every time somebody's released, like Chris Masters or I can't think of the guys who were released in that last one, but every time you see somebody released, like Vladimir Kozlov, the first thing is, are they going to go to TNA? Are they going to go to TNA? Are they going to go work in Japan? This, that, and the other. Those guys got to work. They've been wrestlers forever. It's the one thing they know how to do. They're going to keep doing it. But it's always the big question mark. Are they going to go there? Very few wrestlers leave WB and make it big, like Carlito. MVP's doing good over in Japan. But mostly, if you want to stay in the United States, you want to make money, TNA is where they fall to. But you don't want to be known as the guys that just keep on picking up the WB garbage that gets dropped off on the side of the road and trying to put stuff together. Like I said, they got guys like Zima Ion, they got Jesse. Jesse Neal. Jesse Neal's another guy that he got brought up. He went through the Dudley Boys training, but Jesse Sorensen is a guy that's out there that could use this sort of thing. They got guys Al Snow and Nick Dinsmore. They've pumped up and dealt with some good guys. OVW has a good track record of bringing guys up with Danny Davis when Jim Cornette was there. I'm not 100% sure if Jim Cornette is still with OVW or not. There was a point when it looked like Ring of Honor and OVW were going to go into some sort of joint business deal. I know that and Jim Cornette loved OVW so much that he bought into it. I know he is a part owner, but I don't know if he is still an active member of it or not. He might just, have his money invested, and that's all right now, since the Ring of Honor deal fell through. But I mean, this is the same place that pumped out John Cena, Brock Lesnar, Shelton Benjamin, Randy Orton, Batista, Evan Bourne. Many WB stars went here, and many of them talk bad about it. Just having to wrestle in little small towns. Nothing bad against Kentucky or Chad Rapp or Gold Dizzy, but I think this could be a good thing. When TNA guys aren't working. TNA only runs, a couple times a month, and you have the pay-per-view, and then they have random house shows sporadically here, there, and around. They can only have so much stuff. It's a good place they can send these guys, to get extra work, but also, to make some, money on the side, I guess you can say. It's always going to be a constant little booking. Hopefully, OVW with their TV is gonna be putting be getting like some I guess you can say like little backdoor handshakes, I guess you can say, sending guys like Abyss there, or maybe Rude and Storm, Devon, some of the veterans on the roster. I'm not expecting AJ Styles to come walking in through that door or something like that, but it'd be cool if you live there in Kentucky and you got this 1 hour show to be able to to turn on and see a main star. I know WB, they always send stars down to OVW. Everybody heard about the big CM Punk match that was about a week or 2 weeks ago, and you go down there and you work somebody with the main roster and you give somebody a good rub down there. Even in a loss, people that are down there that are actually invested in watching the show and going to the product and spending money on it. They can see that their guys are actually holding up against the WB guys. They're not just going to go up there and get jobbed out. I just think that it's a little bit too late. A star like Crimson could have been sent there. Crimson's a guy that is getting used against the TNA Impact roster and just, pretty much roaring through everybody. And he's got the Goldberg style push that people are starting to regret. Liking this guy, sort of like when Rock came into WWE, he tore through everybody, got to the Intercontinental Championship, and even though he was a face, people were chanting "Die Rocky Die" at him, because they're just not the guy that they wanted to see. They don't, they like finding their own stars and becoming fans of people, not just being told, "Here's Rocky Maivia, you're gonna like him," and that's how it is. But I think this is a good thing. I think it's good for OVW. It's going to be good for their TV. It's going to be good for their house gates. Having some names flow through there. It's going to be good for TNA to actually find some homegrown stars. They have a few that they have, but I mean, it's good that they're going to be looking towards the future, because WWE just goes out and they scoop up everybody, pump them through FCW, see what they like or if they don't like. That's worked out a few times. A lot of guys that are in TNA now went through OVW or FCW, and they were just a diamond in the rough that just got passed on, and maybe WB regrets that on some guys. But all in all, moving forward, I think this is a good thing, as long as it doesn't cost a whole buttload of money and comes to bite them in the end. Them just spending money vigorously. Like that's what killed the NWA. Was they just moved too fast. They said they decided to go work the West Coast, and they were flying everybody on private jets, and they were just spending twice as much money as they were making. So hopefully that's not the stage that TNA is at right now, and we'll move forward from here.